Hey, welcome back to Python MC. I'm your Python MC coach, Richard Ashe, and in this section we're going to get into variables. Variables, it's like a name tag, and in this case we're going to start to break code. That means we're going to try to find all the different ways we can screw this up. This is actually a little bit of fun. So, first error that happens, I'm going to delete a quote in a string. Typical error. I'm going to run this and see what happens, and it says EOL while scanning string literal, which is just a long way for Python to say, I was expecting something at the end and you gave me the wrong thing. In this case, it was expecting a quote at the end of the string. I run it, and this time it should work just fine. Another thing we might do is we might forget to put in the equal sign, or we put in like a different sign. Let's say we put in a colon like that. And it'll just say invalid syntax, and it'll just point to the spot. So we're like, okay, well, I know from the rules with variables have to be assigned a value using an equal sign. The other thing I might mess up is I might screw up the way I do names. So if I put in 5654, it'll just tell me invalid syntax. But the funny thing is it'll point to this end of the variable name, when the real problem is at the beginning of it, because you can't start a variable name with anything but a letter or an underscore. So I could have put in first name as I had before, or I could have put in like underscore first name, and that would have totally worked, as you can see here. Well, actually, I'll show you another error that came up. So I just put in a first name underscore, and you'll notice I had a name error. Name first name is not defined. That probably means, in most cases, that I've somehow, when I haven't spelled this name correctly. In this case, I actually messed up my code here because I changed this first name, and it's expecting to see something called first name, but I haven't defined a variable called first name. So it will tell me first name's not defined. I don't even know what you're talking about. This time now it works. But let's say, for example, in my code, I put in DJ name. This will drive you nuts sometimes. You'll say, name not defined. Name DJ name is not defined, but I know I've defined it. It's right there, DJ underscore name, and it's right there, DJ underscore name. What am I going crazy? And then, of course, you forgot that Python is case sensitive. So DJ underscore name totally works because that totally matches. So if it says name error, that probably means that you misspelled or you use capitals when you shouldn't use capitals. And that's an easy thing to mess up in Python. And the last one we'll show you is I'm going to plus albums. This should throw me an error. Yep, you can't convert an int object to a string implicitly. Now, all that means is I've tried to add a number to a string, and it's like I don't know what to do with that. Now, I actually could have I could have done something like this and says has, you know, let's see, he and he has made quotes comma albums. That would totally work. Or I could even do plus string albums. We're starting to throw in a few new things. That even in this case, I've converted what is an integer albums to a string albums. And that'll totally work. And I'll just put a space in there. And he's made 10, and I'm going to go another plus. I'm going to put in space albums. So I can add strings together like this, but I just can't try to add a number to a string. So if I just took away the conversion of that integer, the number, to a string using the str function there, a method I should say, I'm going to get that error. It can't convert an int object to a string implicitly. So basically you have a type of object called a string. So Sean and Jay-Z, those are strings. Albums is a number. It's specifically an integer. Integer is a whole number, positive or negative whole number in Python. And you just can't combine these two together. You can't add them together because when it sees addition with a number, it's expecting another number. Or if it's seeing addition with a string, it's expecting another string. So you just can't add a string and a number together. You got to convert. In this case, we'd have to convert albums to a string just using this method called string, and that'll allow it to then be added together to another string. So it's a little bit complicated, but you'll get used to it, and we'll get into it. This is all about breaking code and debugging. So go ahead and take the code we have in here, break it, see how many errors that you can make. And you got to really have fun with errors. The errors are not failure, they're just a feedback to tell you how to do it right. The more errors you get and the more errors you fix, the more you learn about Python and you become a better programmer. So until next time, have fun. We'll see you again soon.